All right, we are starting the recording on this meeting so that we can pass it on to the rest of our newsmakers who were not able to make it. And we're talking to Tiffany right now. And Tiffany, again, tell us a little bit about who you are because you're the newest person to our group.
Okay, so I am a speaker, writer, and success coach, and I help women to stop hating their jobs and start living a life of passion and purpose. And I do that through the creation of workshops, and I have a workshop coming up about how to set goals in order to move you to the place you want to be as we get ready to march into 2017.
Okay, very good. And we're talking to her about how we can help her get coverage. And Tiffany, with 70% of people in this country hating their job, I think that's great. You quit your job. Why did you decide to quit your job? Were you just unhappy? Did you feel like I had a better plan?
Well, I knew that the amount of work that I was putting in for someone else and helping to build someone else's dream, I figured that I could work just as hard to create my own. On top of the fact that dealing with women, other people who look just like me, I was having battles with, and I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand why someone who looked like me wanted to be against me when we were supposed to be working towards the same cause. And as I moved up in leadership, I realized that more and more. While I was in the classroom, everything was okay. I had more reign over what it was that I did. But when I started moving into the assistant principalship, I noticed that other people were gunning for what it was that I was doing. And I said, well, how can we alleviate this matter of women being against other women? And so I said that I wanted to start my own business for that purpose, on top of me experiencing some other things with workplace bullying and wanting to make sure that I got the message out about that as well. So the start of my business is where all of that came from.
Okay. In this module, because you've already sent out some press releases, tell me what's happening with that.
Okay, so I started with some people that I knew. I knew an online radio station host, and I sent my press release out to him along with some other radio stations that I thought might mesh well with the message that I was trying to deliver. I got a response back from one, but what I was really wanting to do was be on so I could talk more about the workshop, but what they came back with was, we'll advertise for you. You just tell us what you want us to say, because they're a smaller venue. So I did get one response back, and they gave me pricing and things of that nature. So that's kind of where I am. And then there are two more that I haven't heard back from, and I need to follow up with.
Okay. So how many press releases have you sent out in total? Was that 3?
I'd say actually I'd probably send out about 4 different press releases.
Have you followed up with those folks?
I've not followed up with 2 of them, and I since added one to the list that I plan to send a press release out to today. But I think my issue is, before joining the course, not even knowing if that was a sufficient enough press release, because I looked at other examples of press releases online and things like that, but I don't know if it needs to be more glitzy, or if it just needs to be on a one-pager, if I need to have a certain background, that kind of thing.
Now you're going further into the modules. What I want you to do is to follow up with the people who sent press releases to. I believe in talking to people first. Before I send anything, I want to call you up and say, hey, I do so-and-so, and I'm really interested in talking to someone about possibly talking about, people who want to quit their job. 70% of people, blah, blah, blah. And identify if they have shows. Now, the person you heard back from, do they have some kind of public affairs show or something like that?
It is a small show that is hosted through one of our local colleges, which is Prairie View. So Prairie View has their own station, and so the people who work that side of things with advertising, that's who got back with me. But their span and their reach, as far as their towers, is not as far. So, but I did want to see where I could start.
If you need to target radio stations and TV stations that have public affairs shows.
Okay.
this is going to be a lot of work. This is where the work comes in. I want you to look at television shows that have public affairs shows. Here locally, we have one. They have a whole different producer for those shows. So you need to start targeting shows. If you just call the station, no, they're not going to have you on to talk about it. But if they have a public affairs show that airs on a Sunday afternoon, the advantage of that is it's a long format. So that'll give you more time to talk about your course, what you're trying to do, and why you think it's important. And so that's what I want you to work on for next Thursday. I want you to start identifying, and this goes for everybody. Start identifying public affairs shows in your community. Ramona, where are you from? What state are you in? I can't hear you. On mute.
St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay, you're in St. Louis. Okay. All right. Thank you. Start identifying public affairs shows and segments where they have guests on. Start doing that, because those are the shows you're going to target right now.
Okay.
Especially you, Tiffany, since you already have an event and you're ready to go. Next Thursday, I really need you to be able to tell me that you have identified at least 5 public affairs shows.
5 public affairs shows. Got it.
At least 5 public affairs shows. And I want you to call those stations and say, I'd like to know the producer for this particular show. Call the show by name.
Okay.
Or I'll give you 3. Just identify as many as you can so we can start really pushing your events out there.
Okay, that sounds good. So find out who the producer is for the show that I'm calling for, and then ask to speak with them or ask for their contact information.
Their contact information. Get their contact information.
Got it.
Okay. And that's going to be part of module 2. And that's going to be making the pitch. You're going to talk about, we're going to talk about picking up the phone, what to say when you call, how to start the conversation, and how to keep in contact. Because even if they say this isn't something we're looking for right now, then you can say, okay, great. I'd like to keep in contact with you because I'm also going to be promoting other events. Because I think once you identify these shows, moving into the holiday season, they're probably going to be calling you because it's going to be slow.
Okay, gotcha.
Slow. So really put yourself in a position to know who they are. Once you contact these people, I kind of want you to get back with me so I can kind of figure out who they are, you know, what shows they are. Find out what shows they are, the producer, what time they air. If it's Monday through Friday at noon, you know, let me know that. If it's Saturday, you know, at 10 o'clock in the morning, because I'm sure in Houston they have a lot of weekend shows too.
Yes, they do.
Okay. All right. Well, we've talked about what everybody's working on right now. And basically what I want you to do is start identifying public affairs shows that you can appear on, whether it's radio, whether it's TV. Start identifying those shows right now. I'm supposed to be including the contact list, and I don't think it is in your workbook. So I'm going to write up something, but what I suggest you do is get a notebook. Get a notebook and write down, and I think that's in part 2, the name of the station, the call letters, whatever the call letters are, who your contact person is, all of their social media information, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever they're on. You know, you'll be able to just go on Twitter and find that person, or go on Facebook and request to be a friend. So you can kind of keep in contact with what they're doing. Keep in contact with what the station is doing, most of all. And Tiffany, your event kind of falls in line with employment. And anytime you hear numbers in Alabama, we release those numbers once a month. The employment rate in the state is, 5%. More people are going back to work. So the thing is, more people may be going back to work, but more people hate their job.
Yes.
Hate it. They
That's
don't
good.
be there. And so
Right.
that's another way that you can kind of sell it. The employment rates, I understand that more people are working, but what I'm understanding is that more people hate their job. In fact, I'm one of them. I
Hmm.
quit my job to talk to women about how they can love themselves and their job. I've created a business. I don't want to say business because then that goes back to them wanting money. But what word am I looking for? But I talk to women about loving their jobs again, and with the unemployment rate at an all-time low right now. I think a lot of people are going back to work and they hate their job. And I think that's it. If I saw that headline, more people are working in the state, but more people hate their job, I'd be like, that's pretty interesting.
Okay. I like that angle.
Yeah, I'd want to hear more.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions? Because I don't want to keep you guys long. Listen, this is not brain surgery. This is fun. We're going to have some fun. And I really want to try to get you guys booked before the first of the year, if not just like in January. Go ahead, Tiffany.
So I was wondering, is it a good idea or not a good idea if you haven't heard back by after you've called by phone, the people that are on the website that say contact for advertising purposes or whatnot? Would it be a good idea to do a walk-in to ask any information? Because there are a few local stations here where I've heard of people walking in and they get a better response because I haven't gotten a response via email or telephone.
If you feel comfortable doing that, I'd do it.
Okay.
I would do it. I'd go up there and say, hey, my name is Tiffany Washington, and I have this event coming up, and I really would like to talk to someone about it.
Okay.
And then they'll bring out the public affairs person or in radio. They'll bring out the person or the program director who handles that. And then you talk to them and they'll say, come on back, or he's not in. Say, well, I've been trying to get in contact. Be persistent. I've been trying to get in contact with them for the past couple of weeks. And I really think this is something that your listeners can benefit from.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, and the thing about it is, it's almost like you're a salesman in a sense of the word, and it's being comfortable with that because part of me feels like I'm pestering people if I call too much or if I follow up more than one time, and I guess getting comfortable with the fact that you have to in order to get what you're seeking.
Be persistent and make sure whatever you're selling, whatever you're doing, benefits the listener, benefits the viewer. Ramona, do you have any questions? Because I really want you to start focusing on that one thing so I can kind of start mapping out what you need to do next.
Okay, I'm actually in a course right now to create a business plan, and the thing that I picked to work on was a greeting card company, which coloring cards, which would help people to reduce stress.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why that I'm looking to start my business was I got displaced from my job, but I also knew that I was playing small and that I had more in me to give. So when I got displaced from my job, I've been looking for ways to strike out on my own and really trying to find my groove. And even though I'm an author and I wrote books, I've always wanted to start a greeting card company, connecting people, and also to make it a way for me to give back to the community. So I want to be like a social entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. So some of the proceeds from the greeting cards would go back to organizations that I'm already supporting or that I was supporting when I was working, like Crisis Aid International, rescuing girls from human trafficking, and different things that like that. So what angle would I use if I pick that one thing to say I want to start a greeting card company that can bring people peace or help them de-stress?
Well, that's big, Ramona. That's really big right now because we've done a lot of stories about those coloring books for adults.
Mhm.
We've done a lot of stories with that. I wish you had started it about a month ago so you could be ready for the holidays.
Yeah.
It's always capitalizing on what's happening now.
Okay.
I'm not sure if this is something that you'll have up and running, in the next couple of weeks. So we need to concentrate on something that you're working on right now that you could take to your local radio station or something like that.
Okay.
It's just that you and I are in the same group, so I know what some of the things you are working on, and I follow some of your scopes as well. But we got to find something that you can focus on right now, because something like that, if it was up and running, if it was ready to go, if you had cards that you could take to the station and say, hey, this is what I'm working on. The holidays can be a very stressful time. Why not send a card that you've created that reduces stress?
Right.
So let's come up with something that we can do right now. And listen, I don't want to put any pressure on you, because after this course is over, there are going to be some other things that you can work on, and you and I can work one-on-one with that. But
Okay.
right now, we really need you to focus on that one thing that we can get coverage on, because the rest will come. Because once you start establishing those relationships, the rest will come.
So based on what you've seen so far, because right now I'm doing a challenge, helping people to anchor their destiny, which is creating a framework for and spending time for you, because often we don't take time for ourselves to even think about what we want or to become clear about what we want. So the challenge I was using to kind of rev up viewership and get people interested to move them into my course, which is that 6-week course that I don't have anybody in the seats yet. So I'm trying to figure out what would be a good thing, since I'm just kind of giving out information right now and I don't have anything solid. So I'm kind of in this place where I'm creating some things, but I don't have enough viewership or enough people, I guess, interested.
And
I know Kat was telling me that because I have a book that I wrote 10 years ago, and it's From Tongue Near the Heart, So Says the Wise. And it's over 300 old sayings and adages that my mother told us to keep from whipping us.
Okay.
So she had a story for everything, or a saying for everything. So in any situation you in, you got the lecture before, or either you got the whipping. And so Kat was saying that I may be able to help people catch their own lives, or to look at their own family history or sayings and put together their own book. So that was one suggestion that she made for me.
Are you from St. Louis?
Yes. Well, East St. Louis, across the water, but now I live in St. Louis.
Okay. I think the book is probably what we need to focus on now. When did you write the book? You said 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can still buy it?
Yes, it's on Amazon right now, or either I can also sell it myself, have print copies made and sold. And I have a new book that I just wrote in May. It's Your Legacy Voice, The Prelude to Your Breakthrough.
Okay.
And that's on Amazon as well.
Okay.
And that's a short read book.
And what's it called again?
Your Legacy Voice, The Prelude to Your Breakthrough. And that really talks about finding treasure in your trouble and your message in your mess. And it kind of deals with kind of what I was going through in between the time, because also my relationship for a year has really been off, and going toward divorce, although I haven't filed yet. And then I got displaced from my job. So like last October, like a year ago, I found out some things about my relationship, which I knew that place was not for me. It wasn't what I really wanted, but I was hanging in, being tenacious, trying to make it work. And then my job, I wasn't really totally satisfied on my job. There were some moments where I enjoyed what I did, but I knew that there was more. And so when I got, when my job was when my job ended, then I was feeling like, you know, should I go back to work? Should I find some jobs? But I was really enjoying my time alone. But also I got really sick too. So it was a lot of stuff happening, but I went ahead and finished my master's degree in leadership and organizational development. And then I wrote this book in May, and I've been pressing through. And so now I'm trying to strike a course in moving forward and becoming an entrepreneur and not trying to look back, because I know by January I have to replace my income. So I'm in this place right now.
Okay.
Where I'm like, I got to make something happen.
Yeah.
Either I'm going to have to find a job, which has been slow, even getting back into my company. You know, I haven't really had any traction, you know, applying back into where I was working. But I really want to press into entrepreneurship. And so, so that book that I wrote was really my release. And in writing down what I was feeling, it allowed me to stand on my story rather than in it. So it was a quick release to release some things. And I know I got some follow-up books to do and come out. So I'm just in a place, I'm a visionary.
Yes, I can see that.
And I have so many things in me that I want to release, but it's really finding the audience and being able to see what they need. Not so much what I need, although I feel like that there are other people just like me who are, you know, 50 and doing a shift in their life. People who know that they have been playing small and dimming their lights. And it's time for them to go for, you know, what they know to be true for them and having that courage to step out there. So I think my story would resonate with people, but it's really finding the right way to tell the story and to position it, and then to have products and services to help them come through.
Do you talk to, you're absolutely right. I think a lot of people would connect with your story. Do you go out and talk to different groups?
I have not yet. I mean, I've done a few talks like at church, but not actually going out into the community. I do a lot of talking on Periscope. So I have people that I'm encouraging people on Periscope and, you know, things like that, inspiring people. That's what my gift is, really in teaching, but not so much in the classroom teaching, but being a life teacher and being an encourager and being an edifier or where my gifts and passions really lie.
Okay.
And I also worked in the deliverance ministry for over 10 years as well. So helping people, setting people free from different things that they're dealing with.
I really see you kind of taking your message on the road. You know, I know Periscope is good, but I think I need you to talk to some folks. I need you to get your story out there. I need you to take pictures of you. And, you know, I want you to help those people, but in return, I need to see some proof that you are an expert.
Okay.
I need you to take pictures when you speak to people. Get your sister, your cousin, your brother, whomever, to take some pictures of you. So we can kind of start establishing, so we can kind of beef up your credentials. Okay. You know, you enjoy talking to other women who are facing the same thing. And then we have pictures of you doing that.
Okay.
We got to focus on one thing.
Okay. And another thing too, I'm planning to go, I don't know if you're familiar with Wendy Alexander and Princess Fumi Hancock. They're on Periscope too, but I'm planning to go to Dubai with them and have an opportunity to speak on the stage.
Good.
In Dubai in April of 2017.
Okay.
But in the meantime, one of my goals is to really work on my story.
Okay.
And to really get that story, you know, what do I want to bring to the world?
Okay.
And what is my message? And that's kind of where I struggle with. Since there's so much, I need to really find that story.
Yes.
My message to the world, which I believe my message to the world is, and when I started working, you know, moving into Periscope, one of the brandings that I did was Ramona Speaks. Because I had been silent. So with Ramona Speaks, I'm believing that my message to the world is what I've been saying lately is, let me help you make your life speak. Your life is speaking anyway, but make it say what you want it to say. Live the legacy now that you want to leave. So make your life speak of your legacy. And I believe is my message.
Okay. I need to see you delivering your message. I need you to put that message together, and I need to see you delivering that message. I need proof that you are the expert that you say you are. You've written a book. I love the book. I love that. But obviously there are some other things. See, your message is separate from that book. What you're telling me. Your struggle is separate from that book.
Okay.
I need to see you speaking to other women, encouraging other women. Every time you speak, I need somebody there to document it.
Okay.
Okay? You're shaking hands afterwards. I need pictures of you doing that. So we can kind of start building a storyboard for you. I think your story would be great for radio. I think it would be great for print. I'm not so sure about TV just yet, but I think those two avenues would be good. Look for small newspapers in East St. Louis, where you're from. And I think since you're local, that's kind of your stomping grounds. I want you to go back home and think about some of the radio stations and in small newspapers, so that we can kind of tell your story to them. And we're just going to start small, but you got to focus. I got to have you focused. And I like your life story. I like I like your tragedy. I think people can identify with that. And then if we can get local coverage in East St. Louis, then we can move to the big city.
Okay.
So let's do something small. I don't care if it's, the Black Chronicle, whatever it is, let's start small. Because once you even read it, once you see your story in print, you may be like, this is not what I'm really about. So we want to start small. I want you to see your growth, and then we'll move on. Okay, I think we've covered everything for the most part. Y'all look for Module 2 on Monday, and then we'll meet again on Thursday at 11:30, same time, and kind of flesh out what you've been doing and how I can help. I think for the most part, you guys are on track. Anthony, I'm going to direct message you because I hate the fact that I'm here in Montgomery with you, because I already know where I want to put your story. I already know, but I can't pitch it. Okay. You're gonna have to do it.
Okay.
I think it would be a great holiday story. You're gonna have to pitch it though.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Thanks a lot. Yeah. It was a pleasure meeting everyone.
Yeah, it was nice. I love talking to you guys. I think that's the best part. The course part, I think less about that. I think meeting with you guys and really fleshing out what you're doing is so much fun. If you have any other questions? Anybody have any other questions?
No, I just want to say that this has been awesome, just being able to have that one-on-one time with you. Good. And it's gotten me excited about the next step. And just like my friend Ramona, I have a lot going through my head too, because I'm already ready to talk to you about the next phase, which is, my book and how to publicize that. But like you said, take things one thing at a time and focus. So I'm excited. So thank you for creating this course.
Well, thank you so much. Ramona, one other thing before we go, one thing you may want to think about in your book is maybe publishing a chapter. So when you do talk to people, you can say, hey, if you want to read a chapter or a couple of pages or something like that, go to my website, make that available to people. And I think that will also be a drawing point.
Okay, so are you saying the book I already published or start a new book? Because I'm planning to write another book before November 21st to have another book. So maybe that book could be more about my story.
Okay.
More about my message to the world.
Okay. Well, in that case, I would take a portion of it, like a couple of pages you think would be really good for people to read, to interest them, then that, for them to buy. And if you get an interview with the newspaper, then they can always say, Ramona is making a couple of pages available if you'd like to read. Go to this website. And I think that's a great way to kind of introduce people to your writing, to you. But let's start small as far as publicity. Get it in the media. If you have to go home, that's fine. Think about some newspapers and those kind of things where you feel you can fit in and get your stories out.
Okay, and I'll look for some venues too that I can start speaking and sharing with women, kind of getting people together off of Periscope and do something local where I'm actually speaking to an audience. I'll do that.
Yes, let's get as many pictures as we can so we can start building the story for it.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Val.
Sure. All right, guys. I'm going to run and get ready to go to my job. And we'll meet again next Thursday, okay?
Okay.
All right.
See you later.
See y'all later.